Hello and welcome to EUROjam on Callan 105 FM with your host Jamie Davis, and for the next 60 minutes we are going to be playing all Eurovision. And aren't you lot lucky at home, eh? I mean, in the words of the presenter Eamon Holmes on Sky News, it may be dreadful, but we love it, don't we? Okay, we're from the United Kingdom. We never win Eurovision, apparently, in the last 21 years. But hey, you never know. SuRie could end up storming us all the way to Lisbon for that Eurovision crown, our 6th ever title at Eurovision since it started back in the 50s. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I'm probably getting carried away there. I'm just so excited because there is less than 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, 2 months until Eurovision takes place in Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, as we will be listening to all 43 songs throughout the week in the 2 semi-finals and in the grand final on May 12th. May 12th. I should know this. May 12th, I think it is. Yep, it's May 12th. May 12th. And anyway, what have we got coming up in the next hour, Jamie? Well, we'll be hearing from the latest favourites from the bookies, and that is Israel. Remember when Israel last won it? Well, it was back in 1998 when we hosted it in Birmingham at what we now call Arena Birmingham. Obviously back then, Israel getting their 3rd ever crown and adding it to the 2 successes they had in 1978 and 1979. We also got the return of Alexander Rybak. Now, he's the man who has got records here at Eurovision, and for some reason he wants to come back and do it again. He's been picked for Norway. He won the Melody Grand Prix, which is their national selection for Eurovision, has been for many years now, and he has come back with his violin, as we all remember from his winning song Fairytale in 2009. I can't wait to hear the song. I've already heard it, but it's one of those you just look forward to again, you know, like Happy from Pharrell Williams. It just never gets old. We'll also have all countries now with them selecting their song for Lisbon, and that's it. No going back for them. And then, of course, we've got Eurovision news coming up and the latest on ESCplus and your song requests. So that's coming up on EUROjam on Callan 105 FM.
Walking over glass, neighbors say we're trouble. Well, that time has passed. Peering from the mirror, no, that isn't me. A stranger getting nearer. Who can this person be? You wouldn't know me at all today. From the fading light I fly, rise like a phoenix out of the ashes, seeking brother than vengeance, retribution you were warned. Once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn, you know I will rise like a phoenix, but you're my flame. Go about your business, act as if you're free. No one could have witnessed what you did to me, 'cause you wouldn't know me today. And you have got to see to believe. From the fading light I fly, rise like a phoenix out of the ashes, seeking love.
wasn't that a cracker, hey? I mean, it's one of the classics, isn't it? It is just a fantastic song there from Conchita Wurst, winning it for Austria in 2014. And, you know, this is when I'll say this now about the UK fans. Stop moaning, because when they won that was the first time they had won Eurovision since 1966. That's longer than us winning the World Cup, pretty much. We haven't won the World Cup since then. So I'm just saying, you know, we could wait a little longer, can't we, for that last trophy? Anyway, that was Conchita Wurst with Rise Like a Phoenix, and it is a classic back from 2014. She actually won it with 290 points, which is quite a margin when you look at the actual board for that final. And obviously, it was sung in English, which is one of the last songs to win it in an English language. Anyway, we must move on to an English singer, because we have, next up, our UK entry for this year. Her name is SuRie, and I always say this, I keep thinking it's Siri. You know, the iPhone device thing that you talk to. And, wow, let's just say, I'm worried I'm going to say Siri at one point when I say her name, especially when it comes to maybe the Eurovision week. Anyway, SuRie is obviously representing the UK after winning the national selection back in February, and that was in Eurovision You Decide. And obviously between now and then, from someone who we interviewed a few weeks ago, Ben Royston, he said to me off the record that she's pretty much going to be locked up in the BBC studios until Eurovision, and we'll try and get an interview with her. I can't promise anything. Anyway, this is her song. It's called Storm, and actually SuRie did actually be part of the Belgium act back in 2015 as one of the backup singers, so she is used to the Eurovision crowd. She's been there before, but can she do it on her own as the main singer for her country, the UK? Anyway, this is her song. It is SuRie with Storm.
Hey brother, do you remember when we were kids with no fear? Hey sister, do you believe in the things we dreamt we discovered? I still have faith, I still believe in chasing rainbows. Storms don't last forever, forever. Remember, we can hold our hands together through this storm, through this storm. Storms don't last forever, forever. Remember, we can hold our hands together through this storm, through this storm. Hey mother, am I making you proud, or could I do better? Hey father, there's weight on my shoulders, but it's not over. I still have faith, I still believe in chasing rainbows. Storms don't last forever, forever. Remember, we can hold our hands together through this storm, through this storm. Storms don't last forever, forever. Remember, we can hold our hands together through this storm, through this storm. Spread your love, give all you got. Hold your head up, don't give up, no, no. Hey brother, don't give up. Ooh, storms don't last forever, forever. Remember, we can hold our hands together through this storm, through this storm. Spread your love, give all you got. Hold your head up, don't give up, no, no. Spread your love, give all you got. Hold your head up through this storm.
And there you go. That is the UK song for Eurovision this year. I mean, let us know what you think. Remember, you can tweet at Callan FM, which is at Callan FM on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts, and I'll be happy to read them out on the next show, which will be on April the 4th. I should know these dates. You'd think, Jamie, write them down. Actually, I'll double check because I have got it written down, just not in front of me. And it is April 4th. I'm right. I'm getting them right, but I can't remember them. What is going on? My memory's gone today. I'm getting old. Anyway, we must play the next song because this is the exciting... Well, let's say get excited. You've probably heard this song before and it probably irritates you. Well, sadly, irritating songs are the ones that get remembered in the voting sequence, and they most of the time win Eurovision. And this one is a perfect example back in 2009 when Alexander Rybak entered the scenes for the very first time, and it was no doubt his biggest moment of his musical career so far. But can it get bigger or even be on the same bar come May when he represents Norway again with the song That's How You Write a Song? And I mean, I hope it's the right advice from what he's telling us. If not, we're not going to win any Grammys if we follow his advice. Anyway, this is the song that he won in 2009. And this is actually the one that won in 2009 in Russia with a record-breaking score of 387 points out of a possible 492, which is very impressive. And actually, funny enough, since 2016, that's when the voting sequence has changed. So he'll most likely keep that record for good now, unless the EBU decide to use the old system again. And that was a third win for Norway. 1985, 1995 were the other two. Anyway, this is the song. Alexander Rybak with Fairytale.
Years ago, when I was younger, I kinda liked a girl I knew. She was mine, and we were sweethearts. That was then, but then it's true. I'm in love with a fairy tale, even though it hurts. 'Cause I don't care if I lose my mind, I'm already cursed. Every day we started fighting. Every night we fell in love. No one else could make me sadder, but no one else could lift me high above. I don't know what I was doing when suddenly we fell apart. Nowadays I cannot find her, but when I do, we'll get a brand new start. I'm in love with a fairy tale, even though it hurts. 'Cause I don't care if I lose my mind, I'm already cursed. She's a fairy tale, yeah, even though it hurts. 'Cause I don't care if I lose my mind, I'm already cursed.
And that was the tallest flagpole in the world. And Kazakhstan came along, built a higher one.
Welcome back to EUROjam, and that was Alexander Rybak with the song Fairytale, a classic in the Eurovision history of the song contest. And he's back again. He's back again. He is representing Norway, and I've got his song right here. All I have to do is press the button, and you'll hear it. The 2018 Norway song for Eurovision from Alexander Rybak is That's How You Write a Song. Listen to this. I love it. This is, in my eyes, this is better than Fairytale in 2009. See what you think. And if you get the chance, go on YouTube if you've got some time. Search the song of the staging. It is one of the best stagings I've seen in a while. And I'm putting it out there. I think this could win Eurovision. Depending on even though Israel are the favourites, we'll listen to that song later on EUROjam. But who knows? Let's find out. This is Norway for 2018.
If you got a minute, get down your idea. It might do wonders, maybe disappear. Who knows? Just get it down and nothing can go wrong. Go find your rhythm, that's how you write a song. Enjoy the small things, with time they will get big. Gotta find your mission, a mission to pursue. And you know you got a talent, whatever it may be. So work your magic and sing along with me. Step one, believe in it and sing it all day long. Step two, just roll with it, that's how you write a song. Say it all day long, and that's how you write a song. I say scooby-doo-boo-boo-bop-bop, boogie-boogie-woogie. Say it all day long, see that's how you write a song. Step one, believe in it and sing it all day long. Step two, just roll with it, that's how you write a song. Step one, believe in it and sing it all day long. Step two, just roll with it, that's how you write a song. Step one, believe in it and sing it all day long. Step two, just roll with it, that's how you write a song. Step one, believe in it and sing it all day long. Step two, just roll with it, that's how you write a song. Step one, believe in it and sing it all day long. Step two, just roll with it, and that's how you write a song. See, that's how you write a song. And that's how you write a song.
You'll notice they're performing in a sort of plastic tent. That's because who knew Vienna quite wet? One of the most beautiful cities in the world, and yet we might as well be in Middlesbrough. It's been so grim since we've been here. Quite damp.
I don't know what Graham Norton's saying there. I mean, it's actually been lovely weather today here in Wrexham. Actually, I say that. This show is pre-recorded on a Monday, and this is going out on a Wednesday. Fingers crossed the beast from the east has gone back to the east. I mean, I don't know which part of it. Was it Russia? I have no idea. I can't remember. But hey, you know, as long as it doesn't come back for May when Lisbon hosts the 63rd Eurovision Song Contest in Lisbon. Anyway, so that was Alexander Rybak there with That's How You Write a Song. I mean, come on. You must have got your feet going in the car or somewhere. You must have enjoyed it at some point. It's a great song. I think it could do, as I said, I think it could do really well. It could be a winner. if you look at the odds, go on esc-plus.com. Of course, esc-plus.com is putting out EUROjam as well on YouTube, so don't miss it if you can't listen to it live on Callan FM. But if you actually go on the odds section, at the moment, Israel is at the top, but Norway is quite far down, but at least it's not lower than the UK. Just saying. The UK is not even at the halfway point of the odds this. So, yeah. All I'd say is put a quid on Norway. You just never know. You might get good odds. I'll have to check, but I'm putting it out there. It'll make the final. If it doesn't make the final, then I should never talk about Eurovision ever again, which I know for some of my friends, I'll be delighted if I stop talking about it. Hopefully that won't be the case. Anyway, we're going to have a bit of a random choice now. That we're sticking with Norway. We're going with last year's song, and this is one of my favorites actually. And in a way, if Daft Punk did Eurovision, this is how I would look at it, because it was basically a singer, and the DJ was called JOWST, which is, if you want to spell it, JOWST. And the guy was literally wearing a mask with a hood, black t-shirt, black everything. And his mask literally had lights on, and it was so cool. It was just like Daft Punk when they're on stage doing a live gig. See what you think of this song. It is cool. It is from JOWST, and it is Grab the Moment. They finished 10th last year, which is a very fair enough finish. Top 10's not too bad at the 26 that competed. And the amount of points they got was 158. So they got their fair share from the jury and the fans, or if you like to call it, televote. Anyway, here's the song from JOWST, Grab the Moment. And you better grab the moment with this one.
They read me like a book that is open, a question on a bag and I'm joking. I'm looking for a sign while they're stepping on my mind, but I hide behind a simple-minded notion. I try to act cool, but I'm boiling, feeling like a fool that was chosen. Try to keep myself calm while my head is getting bombed. Really need to get that good vibe going. So when it's all or nothing, I put my nerves in the coffin. So when it's all or nothing, I put my nerves in the coffin. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. I don't care about falling. I'm gonna grab the moment. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. I don't care about falling. I'm gonna grab the moment. Kill that voice in my head. Getting kinda heavy on my shoulders. Try to stand straight, but I'm boneless. Got a pocket full of pros while I'm walking on my toes, and I'm coping with the map that is roadless. Got eyes on my neck, but I'm absent. I'm quiet in the corner seeking action. I wanna be bold, but I'm only getting old. I need to stop drowning in distractions. So when it's all or nothing, better get that good vibe buzzing. So when it's all or nothing, I get that good vibe buzzing. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. I don't care about falling. I'm gonna grab the moment. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. I don't care about falling. I'm gonna grab the moment. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. In that beat, there's a calling for that leap. Got no control, but I know there's a fire in my soul. Hidden deep in that beat, there's a calling for that leap. Got no control, but I know there's a fire in my soul. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. I don't care about falling. I'm gonna grab the moment. I'm gonna kill that voice in my head. I don't care about falling. I'm gonna grab the moment.
Now her name was unpronounceable, so she decided to go with her nickname, which is Boggy. Yep, could have called herself anything. Trixie Belle, Flu, anything. She went with Boggy.
So I hope you enjoyed that one. That was Grab the Moment from JOWST of last year's Norway. Anyway, that's enough of Norway for this week's EUROjam. I promise, that'll be it. That's 3 Norway songs in a row. But we move to Israel now. Now, of course, I mentioned already a few times on the show that the favourite is Israel. It might change. It changes a lot, especially during the week after the semi-finals, including the dress rehearsals that the media report on. Anyway, the name, it's a girl. It's Netta Bazali, and she's won the national selection. So she wasn't just randomly picked. She actually won a competition back in Israel, and she will represent the country this year. So to select their representative, the Israeli broadcaster, Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation, or if you like to call it short, IPBC, collaborated with the commercial broadcaster Kashit and Teddy Productions and organised the reality singing competition called The Next Star for Eurovision. The song was chosen by a committee of the Israeli broadcaster, and this is who it's come with. It's Netta with Toy. Now, before we talk more, a lot of Eurovision fans were in a bit of a shock last year. Do you remember the televote when we always get the representative of each country announcing the 12 points to their favourite song from the jury? Well, Israel said that it was the end of their broadcasting of Eurovision. A lot of people in the audience were a bit worried that we would never see Israel at Eurovision either very soon or never again. Well, it's changed broadcaster, so it's like the BBC to ITV if Eurovision left BBC, basically. But basically, that's what has happened. So Israel is back this year, and look, they're the favourites. Here it is with Netta Toy.
Ouch. Ha. La. Ouch. Ha. La. Ouch. Ha.
Now, you can imagine how thrilled they were to get their invitation to do a traditional Austrian thing. Yeah, skateboarding in the rain in a park. Thanks a bunch. Dankeschön.
So there you are. There is the current favourite for the Eurovision crown this year. That was Netta with Toy representing Israel there. I mean, if you listen to the very first show of EUROjam back in February, we previewed the UK national selection songs, which was 6 of them, including SuRie, of course, the outright winner. And remember the 16-year-old Asanda doing the Song of Legends? It kind of reminds me of that song. And if that is the case, why didn't we pick Asanda in Legends? Sadly, though, if you actually watch the staging, Asanda just could not do it live compared to the actual audio track that was recorded beforehand that we listened to on EUROjam, the very first ever show. So, sadly, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but Israel, I kind of don't want to win. I don't really want to travel to Israel next year if I really wanted to go. You know, I'm not saying Portugal's a nicer place, it's just a lot more closer to home, if that's the safe way of putting it. Anyway, we must move on to a classic Israel song, because the last time they won it was back in the UK, here in Birmingham, which is at Arena Birmingham, which was hosted by the great Terry Wogan, who sadly passed away a couple of years ago. And this is with Dana International with the song Diva, and this was to add to the other wins that they got in 1978 and 1979. So here it is, Dana International with Diva. It's now time for some Eurovision news here on EUROjam. Only a couple to go from this week. Let's start off with the 2018 Junior Eurovision Song Contest. Now, you're probably hearing that thinking, oh God, there's a junior one? Yeah, it has been for the last decade now, and it always takes place in November, so not in the same time as the main Eurovision show, but it will take place on Sunday the 25th of November, as they've just announced it this week, and it will be at the Minsk Arena in Belarus. And the slogan for this year's competition has been unveiled, and it's #LightUp. I mean, I do like these slogans. Obviously, this year for Eurovision, it is All Aboard, and this one for Junior is Light Up. I quite like that one. I don't know why. I just like it. Light up, you know, bring up the atmosphere. Let's get it going. So obviously, it was last October. It was revealed that it was going to be hosted in Belarus. So obviously, Junior Eurovision is not like Eurovision, where they let the winner host it. I think they have the option, but the UK don't even participate. They don't even participate in this. Probably for the best, I guess, but it's going to be hosted by the national broadcaster of BTRC, which is Belarusian Television and Radio Company, and it will be the 16th edition of the contest, and after 2010, the second to be held in the Minsk Arena in the capital city of Belarus. And I thought, since this is news from Junior Eurovision, I thought we'd play last year's winner, which was from Russia, from Polina Bogusevich, if I've pronounced that correctly, and it's sung in English and Russian, and it won with 188 points, just 3 ahead of Georgia and Australia finishing 3rd. Australia are so committed to Eurovision that they even like to participate in Junior Eurovision. We'll talk more about Australia after this, but this is the song Wings from Russia.
Хочешь быть отважным, окна открыть, силы собрать в кулак, но в тишине твой голос слышен едва, просто скажи однажды. Я не боюсь, делая первый шаг, не повторяться эхом. Эти слова, и в одну вдруг сольются 100 дорог. Больше ты здесь не будешь одинок. Я расправлю крылья за твоей спиной. Станет небо выше, если ты со мной. Крылья ты не потеряй. Выше солнца вслед за мною. Just humans, but if we want, heaven can be so close. There are no bounds and limits. Somewhere so high, you can get what you want. That's the time destiny unites our roads. You are not alone. Higher than the stars. Reaching up the sky, starlight, it's so hard to breathe. We are fighters for the right starlight, it's so hard to breathe. We are fighters for the one had missed. Sunset
And that was Russia there with the Junior Eurovision winner of 2017. Sadly, Russia will not be hosting it this year. It'll be in Belarus. Obviously, with the politics that's going on. Russia, you've got enough, Russia. You've got the World Cup in the summer. That'll do, won't it? It's just as big, I guess, as Junior Eurovision. Just saying. Anyway, we must actually, talking about Russia, we're going to talk about them again now because they've announced their song and they've actually brought out the video that you can find out on the Eurovision Song Contest YouTube channel. Nice plug in there. Thank you, EBU. I'll be waiting for my check. Anyway, the video for the song is I Won't Break, and it's from the Russian participant, which, of course, was from last year, but she couldn't participate for Russia because of this whole shenanigans between Russia and Ukraine. Long story, Google it. But she's actually going to change her song from what she was supposed to use, which was, I think, Love is a Light. I think that was what the song was called from last year, which was a pretty song. But I guess when it's been so long known, it's probably not going to be that much remembered maybe for this year's contest. I'm not sure. The producers have clearly told Yulia Samoylova to come up with another one, and that is the song I Won't Break, and that's her name. She's known for being in a wheelchair. She is performing in a wheelchair, and obviously a lot of people reckon because of her story she could go far. I'm not a big fan of this song, to be frankly honest. It's okay. It's not as good as last year's song, but it's already generated more than 1 million YouTube views, and that's just in 1 week. And, you know, for Eurovision standard, that's very good. And I'll always say this, I've probably said it in the previous show, but always look at the YouTube views of these songs at least a week before the contest is supposed to begin. When I say the contest, the first semi-final, and you start to gather really who could be the popular ones, who could be the dark horses for that Eurovision title. Anyway, as I mentioned, Yulia Samoylova was banned from entering Ukraine last year, but she will represent Russia again, and this time she can do it. And according to Samoylova, her latest song is very personal and addresses her own willpower and faith. This is what she had to say. She said, it's a very personal song. It's about the strength of Yulia's spirit, which has inspired so many. The song has the image of a sandcastle that seems fragile only at first glance, but in fact is strong as a rock. And that's what she had to say in a press conference after the song was revealed. So here it is. It's Yulia Samoylova with I Won't Break for Russia this year.
My heart is in command, no longer in the dark. My castle in the sand is now made of stone and rock. The memory I knew, the things I've been through, and everything I do is got me living by the minute. Now that I'm in it, now that I'm in it, I won't break. I won't break. When it comes to emotions, from the deepest oceans coming straight from my heart, I won't give in to the motion. Those so-called broken wings are soaring to the sky. Are flowing kings and queens with freedom in their eyes. From the deepest of oceans coming straight from my heart, I won't give in to the motion. Cause even in the darkness, cause even in the darkest night, cause even in the darkness, see a light. 'Cause even in the darkness, I won't cry. 'Cause even in the darkness, 'cause even in the darkness light. 'Cause even in the darkness, I can see a light. 'Cause even in the darkness, my heart is in command, no longer in the dark. 'Cause even in the darkness, 'cause even in the darkness light. 'Cause even in the darkness, my heart is in command, no longer in the dark.
So there's Russia there for 2018. So Yulia Samoylova will finally get to represent her country at the Eurovision Song Contest. Anyway, that's enough of the Eurovision news for this week's EuroJam. I know, I apologise. There's not much more really going on. It's all national finals. They're all done now, all done and dusted. We know all the songs for 43 countries. But we'll be playing them, of course, every fortnight here on EuroJam, which, of course, you can find us on Callum 105 FM and on esc-plus.com. Go check them all out. Anyway, we must play a classic song here. Since we're talking about Russia, let's play the song that won Russia their very first title and only title, which was back in 2008 when it was won in Serbia at the Belgrade Arena. And this is from Dima Bilan with Believe. And he certainly believed it that night. Did he believe it when he won it, though? I'm sorry, terrible wording, wasn't it? But anyway, he won it with 272 points, so a very good score. And to be honest, from what I can remember, I must admit, I've always said this, I didn't really get into Eurovision until 2011, so 2008 is a bit of a blur for me. So I've heard the song, but I don't remember it on the stage or anything like that. Anyway, I'm looking forward to listening to it again. Here it is, Dima Bilan with Believe. Enjoy.
Even when the thunder and storm begins, I'll be standing strong like a tree in the wind. Nothing's gonna move this mountain or change my direction. I'm falling on the sky and I'm all alone. The courage that's inside's gonna break my fall. Nothing's gonna dim my light within. But if I keep going on, it will never be impossible. Not today, 'cause I got something to believe in. As long as I breathe in, there is light I'll leave it to. I can dream, 'cause I get something to believe in. Mission to keep climbing. Nothing else can stop me if I just believe. And I believe in me. Even when the world tries to pull me down, tell me that I can't, try to turn me around, I will let them put my fire out without no. But if I keep going on, it will never be impossible. Not today, 'cause I get something to believe in. As long as I breathe in, there is light I'll leave
Time for some song requests here on EUROjam of Calum 105 FM. And we've got 2 song requests this week, so thank you very much for sending them in. We've got our first one here, and this is from Heather Wilson, who actually, I believe, used to study here at Glendale University on the campus, which, of course, if you didn't know, that's where Calum FM is based. So, you know, if you want to volunteer or even help out away from the microphones, including producing shows, you know, make sure you can go on the Calum FM website, which is calumfm.com. Get in touch with one of the people in charge here, and who knows, you might want to do your own radio show yourself. But no Eurovision, please. That's my show. That's my thing. All right? You got it? Yep. Thank you. Anyway, here is the first song request then. It's Cezar with It's My Life. Now, if you remember this is a guy, well, listen to the song in a minute. He represented Romania in 2013, which was hosted in Malmo of Sweden. And it finished 13th, which is okay, I guess, but only got 65 points, which I don't know what kind of criticism this song got, but it was very memorable because of his voice. It's very remarkable. I won't say what happens, but just keep your ears out for this one. It's not at the start, midway through maybe, where it starts to break out. Anyway, here it is. Cezar with It's My Life.
Love is so bright, like a diamond in the light. Love is so, so true, I can paint my world in blue. Love is so deep, and it makes my life complete. Like a mountain in the sky, love is high, so high. It's my life, and I know it's not true. It's my life, and I share it all with you. It's my life, we were meant to be. I give my life to you. Love is so strong in the heart where I belong. It's a dream or desire, and it's burning like a fire. Love is so deep, and it makes my life complete. Like a mountain in the sky, love is high, so high. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. Find my story, the fight for my glory of It's my life, and I know it's not true. It's my life, and I share it all with you. It's my life, we were meant to be together. I give my life to you.
So thank you there to Heather Wilson for that song request, and that was Cezar with It's My Life. We move on to the second and final song request for this week, and that is from Jamie Bergen, who is actually a friend of mine, so he sent me the message. I had to play it because this song is another bizarre one. It didn't do very well. Okay, it didn't, but let's just say that with their second ever appearance at Eurovision last year, they came second for Moldova last year to Portugal. So it could have been in Moldova instead this year. But anyway, who remembers Sunstroke Project? Well, that was them last year. You know, the man, the sax man, as they call him. And this was their second appearance. But in 2010, though, we're going to play that song. But it didn't do very well. But I still like it. It's typical Eurovision. It came 22nd out of 25 places. Not great, as I mentioned, with only 27 points. It does baffle me, but I think in the order they were third or fourth, which no one's ever won Eurovision at a low place in the running order, because, of course, there's so many songs. There's 26 songs that you got to go through. Imagine trying to remember all that come the voting sequence after all of those performers. Yeah, not easy. And it was a request, as I mentioned, by Jamie Bergen. So here it is. Sunstroke Project and Olia Tira with Runaway. And, you know, for the kids out there, you might have to run away from this song. It might scar you. We've come to the end of EUROjam for this week on Callan 105 FM. Thank you to Jamie and Heather for their song requests there. Make sure you tune in again on April the 4th, which is just after the Easter weekend. And, you know, if I'm not on the radio before then, hopefully you all enjoy your Easter weekend and, you know, you got some free time. Go and check out some of the Eurovision songs on YouTube for this year's song contest. Why not? And if you can, go and visit the esc-plus.com website for the latest news on Eurovision. And, of course, you can listen again on the YouTube channel of ESCplus of all the EUROjams up to date. So thank you again. It's time to say goodbye. We'll be back again on April the 4th. So you've been listening to Callan 105 FM.
Callan FM on 105 FM. Community Radio.